we're on the heels of 9/11. New York's changed a little bit, and you write Christmas in New York.
Yeah.
How did Christmas in New York come about for people who don't know about it? I'm sure you've told a bunch of people this over the years, but what was the timeline on it? Like how far after everything happening did you go writing Christmas in New York?
Yeah, it's I was working a different carpentry crew, but still up in Vermont, and I was framing. We were building condos up at Mount Snow. A horrible job. And I still remember I was like sitting on this beam 2.5 stories up. And then, the radio on September 11th, and the radio starts, playing, and you could see the guys down below are stopping and listening, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And then, someone's yelling up, "Oh, one of the towers in New York City fell down," but we keep just working and working, and then as time goes on, you realize this is something, bigger, and everyone stops, and we're all gathered around the job site radio, uh, and as tons of connections to the firefighters. My brother's a cop. Obviously Denny and Kevin in the band are cop and a firefighter. Steve's a firefighter now. Half the kids we went to school with seem to fall into those roles. So just start getting really nervous. So um, I we had met to get to work. We had met we'd meet down in southern Vermont and all carpool up. So I didn't even have a car, but I wanted to get home and try to start seeing if everyone's okay. And so I hitchhiked back to my car and then got home. And you tried to call New York and all the phone lines were down, as you remember.
Yeah.
It was chaos. You just try to get any news you can. So for me, this song came from a place of feeling sort of helpless. Like I'm up here. I'm not, how can I help? I can't do anything. And I remember talking to Denny, maybe a week afterwards and saying, should I come down? I got carpentry skills. I got tools. Can I help? And he said, just stay where you are. He goes, trust me. We got people. It's good. Just stay, do yourself and your family a favor. Just stay where you are. So I did. But you have that sort of guilty feeling like
Yeah.
this is going on and I am very detached from it, even though I feel like it's impacting me at a deep level. So what do? As musicians and songwriters, we just we start writing songs and putting down thoughts and I wrote two songs before Christmas in New York, trying to not trying to, but not knowing, just writing one super raw, and then writing another one, and neither of those were really, they were just sort of getting the reaction out.
Mm.
And then finally, I think in the third one, I wrote it in, I want to say, probably in November. I know I have this written down somewhere, but as people were gearing up for this first post 9/11 Christmas and wondering how we were going to celebrate and how do you celebrate, but it was sort of a reflection on that's very I'm going to say that the sort of New York, we're gonna keep on, we're gonna keep on doing our thing. We've had tragedy, we've been knocked down, we're gonna get up, and no one's gonna tell us, no one's gonna dictate to us how we are gonna live our lives, and that sort of resilience really is, I think, probably at the core of it.
Right.
And that even though this tragedy happens, um, we can still celebrate the good things in life, and we can honor the tragedy and remember those we lost. And the best way we can do that, one of the best ways, is to live our lives the way that they would have wanted us to live them, and the
Yeah.
way that we think they should be lived. So I'd say that's sort of where it came from.
The reception that you were getting for the song, did you start playing it live before you guys recorded it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Were you getting the reactions then that you were getting after the record?
Yes, yeah. I mean, first time we played it, it was just weeping,
Yeah.
and the guys in the band were crying. We were all just emotional as hell. It was just, as you remember, it was just an emotional time.
Yeah.
Everyone was still on edge. The emotions were just barely under the surface. and especially as a holiday comes, because that's
Yeah,
it's hard. Um, but yeah, as soon as we started playing it, we'd have to play it multiple times a night because people just
I
wanted to
remember
hear
that.
it. And then we went on FUV and actually played it, and they were very nervous about. I still remember talking to, I think it was Liz Noonan
Shout out
at
to Lizzie.
at the time. Shout out Liz. And we told her, said, "Oh, we want to play this new song. It's a 9/11 tribute." And she was sort of like, oh, because she didn't know what it was going to be like. Was it going to be cheesy? This was just untested waters. What was it?
Right.
It could have been horrible.
Was it going to be
And
political? Was it going to be, yeah, right.
exactly, it's just an unknown quantity, and they have to be careful as they're on the radio. They have certain rules and standards they have to stick with.
The public radio standards of
And
the Jesuits of Fordham University. Yeah.
so we played it, and they were blown away.
Yeah.
And then people were requesting the recording of that, of us playing it live, and that's all that it exists. That's the only thing that existed for a little while, and people had recorded it and we're just playing it, and that version of it. So yeah, it was definitely out there before we put it down on tape.
Second album comes out. You guys record the second album, same place you did the first record, I believe,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Took like an extra couple of days, maybe one extra day for the recording,
Right.
and then a separate like day and a half for mastering.
And you guys had done Christmas in New York on that record. It comes out. You guys do this record. You guys do the
Yeah,
CD.
man.
It comes out. You guys are selling CDs. At that point, things really
Yeah.
changed, right? Things really skyrocketed from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was the narrative of, I mean, there was a song that sort of captured the moment. And the fact that we had a cop and a firefighter in our band, that
Right.
people really latched onto that. So there was press, there was news interviews, there was articles and stuff, and it really hit the right chord at the right time.